Hi guys, it's Amber from Amber Eats Books, and I'm here today to do my weekly reads video. This is the video where I discuss what I read last week, what I'm currently reading, and what I hope to read for the coming week. This past reading week was just an average one for me. I finished 3 books. I enjoyed 2 of them, and one of them was just okay for me. So let's get into them. As always, I'm going to start with my lowest ranked and work my way up to my highest. This week, the lowest ranked book was The Kingdom Keepers by Ridley Pearson. I gave this book 3 stars. This is a middle grade book about a group of kids who basically have to save Disney World. I thought the premise of it was very creative. However, I thought the execution just lacked a little bit for me. Part of that might have to do with the fact that it is middle grade. Just for some reason, middle grade and I do not gel well together most of the time. I mean, there are definitely exceptions, but it is a bunch of books that I just wanted to love so much. So it didn't work for me this time, but I'm not giving up on middle grade at all. I just really want to love middle grade books, and there are some that I have absolutely adored, but on the whole, I have not enjoyed many of them, but I'm still searching. So if you guys have any great middle grade recommendations, please let me know, because I really love being able to read these and being able to share them with my son and daughter who are of the age to read them. So I would really love any recommendations if you guys have them. The first line in this book is, "He found himself standing next to the flagpole in town square in the heart of Magic Kingdom." The next book that I finished this week was The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I gave this book 3.5 stars. This is the story of a girl named Nella. She's 18 years old. She marries into this family, and she obviously has to move away from her home and into this house, and it is just not what she imagined married life to be. Her sister-in-law is a bit strange. The servants all seem to be keeping secrets, and the husband is not around for a lot of the time. He just doesn't seem that interested in her. Though he does buy her this cabinet, which is basically a miniature form of their house, and she enlists a miniaturist, someone who makes furniture and whatnot for the dollhouse, and this mystery kind of ensues. I will say I really loved the mystery aspect of it. It wasn't like a huge mystery that you had to solve, but it was one that kept you engaged and one that you were just like, I want to know the answer, and you just keep turning those pages. So I felt like I couldn't put the book down once I really got into it. However, once I finished it, I just was unsatisfied. I felt like some things I saw coming from a mile away, and the main mystery I felt like really didn't get answered or anything. I didn't feel like it was properly addressed, but I did enjoy the ride. I enjoyed the journey getting there. I really liked her writing, so I would definitely try more books by this author. I may keep this one on my shelf just because I love the cover so much, even though I wasn't like in love with the story. But this cover is just so pretty that I don't know, I just want it on my shelf. Anyway, the first line in this book is, "The funeral is supposed to be a quiet affair, for the deceased had no friends." The final book that I read this week was 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I actually read this on audiobook, so I don't have the physical copy here to show you. I gave it 4 stars. It was a very thought-provoking YA contemporary book. It was about a girl who commits suicide and leaves these cassette tapes with 13 reasons why she did it. Basically 13 people contributed to why she did what she did, and she left these tapes to this boy named Clay Jensen, and he has to figure out why he is on these tapes. It was very interesting as far as showing that though there wasn't one big thing that made her do this or made her feel this way, it was a lot of small actions by many different people, and how these small actions can snowball and turn into this really big thing where people just feel desperate, like they cannot control their life anymore and cannot deal with it. So I thought that was very, very interesting to read about. I really haven't read many books that deal with suicide, so I'm in no means, I am by no means an expert when it comes to it. I really don't know anything about it. I've never had those feelings myself, so I'm just reading it from an outsider's point of view. I will say there's also warnings in this book for rape, but it is it is dealt with in a way that is kind of attacking how rape is handled in our society. So it was, I felt like, handled at least more properly than just books that just have it in there willy-nilly for no reason. So it didn't bother me to read it so much. I felt like listening to this book really added to my experience of it. I don't know if I would have felt the same as far as my rating goes if I had read a physical copy of the book. I felt like the actors, the narrators of the audiobook, there was a male and female, really did a great job bringing these characters to life and giving them depth. I will say I've really enjoyed the writing. I would definitely pick up more books by Jay Asher. I felt that it was very emotional and descriptive, so I really did like it. There were just a couple of parts where I felt like it was a little slow, and I also felt like some parts were a little unbelievable, a little over the top for me personally reading it. That's the only reason why I didn't give it 5 stars. But on the whole, I thought it was a really great book, and I recommend you guys go check it out. I don't have the first line because I didn't write it down, so sorry. If I ever get a physical copy, I will do it in probably my best books of the year video. Now we move on to what I am currently reading and what I hope to read for the next week, because I actually haven't started reading any books yet. I just finished The Miniaturist yesterday, and then I kind of gave myself a break. My husband was getting ready to go out of town, so we were just spending time as a family, and he had to pack and all of that, so I didn't really have time to read last night. But I'm planning on picking up Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese. I talked about all of these books in my last video, so if you want to know anything more about them, go ahead and check that out. I will maybe link it down below if I remember. So I might pick this one up. This is the one I'm thinking I will pick up next. But I also have Warriors Don't Cry by Melba Pattillo-Beals. This is a memoir of the battle to integrate Little Rock Central High. This is my one nonfiction book for this month. And then I also have out from the library book 2 in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is Royal Assassin. I'm really looking forward to reading this one, but it is quite large. It is let me say 581 pages, so it'll probably take me a few days to read. I do have a 4-day weekend coming up this weekend, so I'm hoping to get my other 2 books read, so I will have just this one to concentrate on over the weekend. So those were all the books I read that I'm currently reading that I hope to read for the coming week. Did you guys read any of these books? What are your thoughts on them? Please leave those down in those comments down below. I hope you guys have a really great week, and happy reading.